Hey poker players, welcome to the Queens of Poker. We highlight the pioneers, the rising stars, and invite more ladies to claim their seat at the table. Because the future of poker is 50% female, max plus EV for all players.
Hello and welcome to the Queens of Poker. I'm super excited to have Katie Lindsay. She is really a bright light in the poker world and most of you know of her. If you don't yet, you're going to get to know her here on this podcast. Lindsay has been in the poker industry for nearly 20 years. She started out as a writer for poker magazines, then forayed into having her own poker agency. Until Black Friday, she shifted her focus back to playing. She's won over $2.5 million playing online, including 2 WSOP circuit rings, and has won 1.1 million live. She's been an ACR Poker Team Pro since 2021, and in 2024, she became the first woman, I saw this, to win a Moneymaker Tour main event. And that was the Aruba tournament for 102,915, which is awesome. We're seeing more and more women take first place, so we can't wait to jump into that. In 2025, Katie made 2 WSOP final tables, so that was last year, including an 8th place finish in the mini main for 114,000. When she's not at the tables, Katie's showcasing her love for fashion, and she does both on her Instagram, which is where I saw her. She actually reached out, which was awesome because I had just been seeing her and thinking she's awesome for poker. So that's a woman right there. And that's what we do. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Katie. I would love to hear more about how you got started in poker, how you feel about women and men playing together, and whatever else you want. Feel free, because this is your forum. My listeners want to hear about you.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I grew up playing games my whole life with my family. We all love games. We're very competitive. I would play cribbage with my grandma. I'd play gin with my dad. I got into college. I started playing spades for money with people. I kind of always, I'm funny. I love a little bit of like having some action on it. You know, I find that fun. Like, it doesn't even have to be financial. It can just be like, okay, if I do this, you got to go take out the trash, or just any fun little things that you can make a little bet on. I've always loved that. And then right about when I was graduating was when Moneymaker was on ESPN winning. That's the crazy thing. A lot of people think as women, we didn't get into it the same way I did. I saw Moneymaker. I was so captivated by that story. It was out of a movie with Farha, his dad on the rail, the energy, the like intenseness. It sucked me in. I was like, what is this game? Because I had only before that knew 7-card stud. I played that a little bit for fun with friends. That's what we would play. Now the kids, they play Hold'em, but back then Hold'em wasn't very widely known. So we would play 7-card stud. That was kind of like a poker variation that we knew. So when I saw Hold'em, I was like, I need to learn about this, and like got some basic book and like read about it. Then found bar leagues where they would, you could go and play. And immediately I started like doing good and like winning the bar tab and stuff. Like, oh, this is fun. And then in the midst of that, after graduating college, I moved to LA, and I was trying to figure out career path, what I wanted to do. I was unsure. Did I want to go to law school? I don't know. I toyed with that idea in my head. I didn't feel like anything was a fit for me. And I saw on this random website looking for poker writers, and I was an English major with an emphasis in creative writing. So I loved to write and I loved poker. So I wrote them, please give me a shot. I want to come write for your magazine. And they gave me an assignment, which is kind of funny. I look back and laugh at the time. They said, okay, sure, write a strategy article on PLO. This is like 2005. People weren't really playing PLO then, just the way that Hold'em had just gotten popular. PLO was not, I couldn't get on the internet and find articles. So I had to like work hard to write a strategy. I'd never even played it myself. But yeah, and I was able to, one of my friends at the time was working casting on a reality TV show, and a well-known poker player that like had been on WPT. He was on their show. And so I was like, give me his phone number. And I cold called him and I was like, hi, I'm with the Poker Pro magazine. I need to do an interview with you. And he gave me tips, and I sent it in, and they were like, oh, who's this girl? She already got like a pro, with tips in the interview. And they hired me from there, and it was such a wonderful time. The guys are great. I love doing that. I also worked with some other magazines, did some stuff with Bluff. Back in the day, Poker Stars. I went out to one of their tournaments. It was when they were doing the LAPT Latin American Poker Tour. I can't remember where. I think I went to an event in Costa Rica with them.
That was in your first few years?
Yeah, my first few years.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I was going everywhere, meeting everyone.
Bluff is the one that Eric Morris.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, Eric's lovely. Actually, funny enough, we had reconnected about last year because he was working on a new poker company. He's like, I want your advice. And he like called me and was telling me all about it and stuff.
Eric's a good guy. So where did you start
Yeah,
first?
well, that was in Atlanta. So I went to Florida
Oh.
State for college. Right after I
Mhm.
graduated, I went to Atlanta for 1 year. That's where I first found the bar leagues. And then went to Atlanta. My brother lived there at the time. Like, my mom was like, oh, just go. It's a big city before you move to LA. Because I knew I wanted to go to LA. But she's like,
Mhm.
start in Atlanta, save some money, whatever. And so that's where I did that. And then moved to LA. And that's where I started writing for the magazine. And then also it was very easy for me to travel to Vegas for tournaments because I was so close. And also there was a lot of tournaments in LA. I interviewed the best players in the world and like asked them everything I wanted to know from the best. I got to ask them any strategy question I wanted because I was interviewing them. I was
That's
interviewing every incredible player at the time. This is everyone, like back then, that was, when the WPT was a really big deal and it was on TV. Every single one of them I was interviewing. And not only interviewing, I became friends with them. I had their phone numbers. I met all the poker players by writing for the magazine and traveling, approaching them. Hi, can I do an interview with you for Poker Pro magazine? Sure. And then becoming friends with everybody. That's how I learned, studied with them, asked a ton of questions. I really got very lucky to kind of learn from the best, immersed straight into it, would watch them play. They'd play online and I would sit over their shoulder sometimes and just watch. I mean, Phil Galfon was a really good friend of mine. He stayed at my house once and I just sat, watched, listened, immersed, just everything he did. That's
Yeah.
how I got to learn. The best in the world were right at my fingertips.
And it's because you went for it. Yeah, I heard you say lawyer or entertainment industry. You weren't quite sure. When was that moment when you knew it's poker? Or was it a series of events and you wound up working in the industry and then I'm going to play, I'm going to be a pro?
Yeah, and I didn't even know what it looked like for me because I loved playing and I loved competition, but then writing was fun and being involved in that way. And then that quickly forayed into owning my own company and agency because I saw an opportunity there. So I jumped on that. And then that kept me so busy. And
Was that like managing poker players or what kind of?
right, and doing sponsorship deals, and during that time, they were very prevalent and a lot of money was being thrown around and people didn't these guys were poker players at college. They didn't know how to negotiate a deal. They didn't understand a lot of that stuff. They didn't know their value, their worth. They didn't know how to pitch themselves. So that's where I stepped in to help, connect the dots as well between I had the relationships with the sites and I knew a lot of the players by being so in that world. And so I kind of meshed the two. And yeah, so there wasn't like a specific, oh, this is it. I'm going to be a poker player. It was just, I loved the industry. I just loved everything about it. And that kind of sucked me in. And actually, when I was doing so much with my agency, I stopped playing for a while. And then when I had met my husband, who's now my ex-husband, but still a great friend, Chris Mormon, we would talk a lot of poker. And he encouraged me. He's like, you got to play. He's like, you got to start playing again. We'd be watching a stream and the commentator would say something. And I'm like, oh, I don't agree with that. I actually don't think he should check there. I think he should bet. And this sizing. And Chris is like, you're right. Yeah. So he really was like, you should start playing. And that's when I did. I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to put myself out there and start playing. And really the rest.
So what year was that about?
Oh, man. I guess maybe about 2014 or so. And I remember like one of the first years. He was like, go play at the World Series. And the Millionaire Maker, I came like 40 something. I went really deep because there was 10,000 people or something that played. Yeah, and I went really deep and had like a fun first score back where I was like, okay. And he even actually had ended up winning a cruise. They had a partnership, one of these tournaments where if you hit a Royal Flush, you get a Royal Caribbean cruise. So we won this cruise and the tournament was 1,000. And I was like, I'll come play it too. And I won the whole tournament.
Wow.
50,000. So that was my first live win on the cruise. He won us the cruise. So we're on the cruise. Okay, I'll play the tournament. And yeah, and it was funny. I remember him going that the payout structure was very top heavy. And he looked at me, he goes, you just need to win. And I said, okay. And I did.
Wow, that's amazing. I find it interesting how many women like I did kind of hold themselves back from doing that. Do you feel like it had anything to do with like the gambling aspect or being responsible or not like taking a risk on yourself? Like you're the woman behind the man. Like it just seems like men are more.
I'm the man.
Oh.
Masculine energy, like I'm the man.
You don't look like it, but I can tell you're like, I'm just going to do it myself.
I would always joke with Chris that I was the man of the house. Yeah, I handled everything because I'm just a very go-getter, hustler side, businesswoman side, ambitious. Like I have it all where I'm just like, go. No is not an answer. I love when people tell me no. I say that's the beginning of our negotiation when they say no.
I love that.
Should have been a lawyer, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're perfectly where you're supposed to be. Why were you more into the business of it? And why did it take his prompting?
That's a really good question. I guess maybe I hadn't played really in so long that I just didn't even think about doing it. And I think also I was like working on some other business stuff. Like when I met him, that was after Black Friday had ended, and I was working with one of my friends who was one of my clients, Shayna Mokler. She was Miss USA and a Playboy Playmate. And on Meet the Barker, she's married to Travis Barker. She has like a huge
I
career.
remember her.
Yeah, and she loved poker, so I was her agent. Anyways, when like Black Friday happened, there wasn't the same stuff going around. So her and I started another company, Two Blondes Productions, and we were working on stuff together. We were running the Miss Nevada USA pageant there, which is funny. Fun fact to me, I owned the Miss Nevada pageant for a year with her.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was just doing other
yeah.
business ventures. That's why I just
Love
wasn't
it.
thinking about poker. And then also helping Chris. And like, I did a lot of stuff for him. Like I helped him secure some deals, helped him write his first book. Like, so I was just, kind of doing other things and maybe not putting that part of myself in the forefront. But then when I realized that I wasn't as fulfilled not doing as much when I got back in and then started to see those accomplishments, that feeling is like unmatched. And then you're like, okay, I want to do this more. But it's tough. Poker's hard. It's not easy every time people, oh, you're a poker player, how fun. I always say, oh, it's fun when you win. But it is hard and it's grueling and it's emotional. And I think that's a big thing. It's also balancing. I really try hard when I win. I really try to sit in it and celebrate it and appreciate every moment of it because it's very hard to win overall, even winning the tournament. But even to go deep and get a good score, I mean, more often than not, you're not going to cash, you're going to min cash, and you still maybe have a losing series. So anytime I'm doing good, I really just like tell everyone just really just try to like enjoy every second of it, take it all in, brag about yourself, be proud to post your accomplishments. It's a weird industry in poker. We're celebrated by our wins. Like you feel like a jerk saying,
Yeah.
I won this much money, but that's how we celebrate poker is by monetary value. Celebrate those things. Don't be scared to promote yourself. And I will say with that, I never have gotten hate like for my accomplishments. All I get is love. And people are the support behind that means so much. People just genuinely excited. People that have never met me, they're just like maybe kind of following what I do and their energy and their support. I read every single message. I reply to every single person unless you're rude, but really that almost never happens.
I do see a lot of the women get some stupid comments from like people with no lives, I'm sure, who have never played at that level just to say things. And I know they struggle, they've told me here at different levels with like how to deal with
It
that.
does happen.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think it's rare, and I try to focus 99% of comments and things are nice, and 1%'s mean. Of course, sometimes we get so fixated on that 1%. I've
Mm.
talked with Nikki Limo, who's a content creator. She's dealt
Love
with
her.
that. She's had a large scale of, like, fame with that. So I've gone to her. I did a podcast recently, and a comment was like, "Oh, why do we have to listen to her? Like, what has she done?" And I think I'm really proud of what I've accomplished. But, I don't think he read anything about me. I don't think he listened to anything about me. He just saw a woman he doesn't know and, oh, she must not be important enough to be in an interview. And that kind of stuff, it can still hurt you. You feel like diminished by like, look at everything I've done and that's still not enough. But then you have to remember it's not about my accomplishments. It's not about me. He probably doesn't even know anything about me. It's just hate, it's insecurity, it's jealousy. And I'm that person. I'm not going to be jealous of anyone. I'm not going to say, why do you have that, not me? I'm going to say, how do I get that? I don't covet, I go get it. So I think that's the difference in a lot of people that, may want to make fun of other people that are doing stuff. It's because they're too scared to go do it themselves. And I say, I have it. Why don't you?
It's envy. It's just miserable.
Yeah.
People sometimes, and I didn't grow up with the internet. I'm older, so I can just turn it off.
Yeah.
But the more I get into it with the podcast, I'm still navigating. I just want to say something back, like what you just said. And it's
Me
like,
too, 'cause I'm sassy.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But
But it's not worth it. And I
yeah,
did call Nikki on that one where I really wanted to reply to that guy and just, and Nikki
yeah,
said, you can do it. She said, but you're not going to win. You're not going to change his mind. He's not going to apologize. And I was like, you know what? It's just not worth it. So I really, the best I can, try to focus my energy on the positive and just
mhm,
try to ignore the negative because it just doesn't benefit
yeah.
me.
And I think part of it in poker is it can be so intimidating for women, especially because we are the minority, clearly. And we talked about this a little earlier. There is that feeling that we have to like prove ourselves. And I mean, you have proven it.
When I started going and playing the tournament circuit, I was just Mormon's wife or Mormon's girlfriend. Everything was, oh, did Chris teach you how to play poker? It was just like, I had no identity away from him. Everything was just centered around him, you know? Even I struggled. It was really frustrating online. I played online poker as well. And it would be like, if I did good, it was up, Chris must have been playing for her. But if I did bad, it was, look how bad she is. And it was, I remember a big turning point. I was playing in Barcelona. It was the 2K EPT, whatever. They have series of Estrellas, like high roller. And the guy next to me, we'd been playing together. And he turned to me and he said, I need to apologize to you. And I was like, what? You haven't said anything to me all day. And he goes, I always thought it was Chris playing when I played you, but now I see it's you. And like, I'm impressed or whatever, you know, that he said. And I was like, thank you. That was really nice. And I never hear that ever anymore. Obviously, we broke up since, but like, you know, after a while, I never heard anymore. People were like, oh, okay, I give her credit. Like, this is her game. She's playing. Also, people that know me, nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Yes.
Even if
I
he
love that.
tried to tell me, he couldn't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, you know. So that was hard in the beginning, feeling like anything that I was accomplishing was diminished by like, oh, it couldn't be you. Oh my gosh, how could a woman ever know how to play poker? But that I feel has stopped, at least for me. I don't know if other women deal with that some, but that stopped, thankfully. I don't ever hear or get that or worry about that anymore. Also is a big thing is I stopped caring what people think of me. Listen, I could be the best in the world and they're still going to say I suck. They do this to the best players in the world. I watch them do it to men. I watch them do it to Kristen Bicknell, who is unbelievable. Like truly one of the best players, female or male, anyone, truly one of the best players. And they're going to rag on her. And it's just like, if she can't get credit, I'm never getting credit. So who cares? Just do your thing, play your best, and don't worry about it, you know?
That's a great point. You said earlier that you feel like we get a lot of support from women. I feel men too, but there is that like 1% who just feel threatened or don't like us there. I get Ms. Regs, like Ms. Regs in LA. They just don't want to be bothered if you're not going to date them or flirt with them or like they don't want us beating them.
See, I just talk crap back to them. I'm very sassy.
I
So
do. Oh, you should see me. I've had to learn to curb it because I don't want to be banned from a
yeah.
casino.
I mean, that might be more in cash games. I feel like in tournaments, it's kind of the same group of us that are playing. We all kind of have that mutual respect. We don't really, this is like, you know, if a random shows up at the World Series and trying to like, you know, talk some sass, it'll be like, who do you think you are, sir? You're new to our crew. We don't know you. You know, like I remember at the World Series, some 21-year-old, he was saying like, I just turned 21. I get to play here. And then was berating dealers, berating everything. And I was like, my guy, you just got here. Take it down. You don't know everything. And the table was like laughing. And I was being playful with him, but I was like, calm down, baby. Like, we just got here. You don't need to go yelling at everybody. I know at 21, we think we know it all. You don't.
Yeah, the kids are funny. I try to be friendly to the recs. I am a rec, but the pros, the male pros are almost always, I said this with Lucky Chewy, they're almost always awesome. They're never going to be.
Chewy was one of my clients.
Right, because they're professionals. The drunks, the men who are like married and don't.
Well, that's the same people that are telling you at the table if they're trying to tell you how you played a hand bad. Those people are not professional players. They're not pros, and they're probably not very good. So just, you know, I try to always say that I will step in because I feel that I'm comfortable there. I've been there. If I see anyone like berating someone, berating a dealer, berating a player, I will step in every time. Okay, we don't need to do that, or try to calm the energy. And it was cute actually. I was just in Uruguay. ACR does a partnership with the Enjoy Poker Tour there, so I was just there playing. And this woman, she was so adorable. I've never seen her before. I get moved to her table and she plays this hand. And I think maybe she was mad at herself. Maybe she checked back river and thought she could have got more value. And she started like berating herself. And I turned to her and I was like, stop. You did great. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, the check on the river is fine. Like, don't do that. Believe in yourself. You are great. And funny enough, I don't know if she went on to Final Table that or what, but she ended up like winning a tournament, went on to something, and then like found me on Instagram and was like, you brought me out of like being in my head, and it meant a lot. So it's like, okay, good. I'm glad I wasn't like overstepping my bounds by like trying to give her advice. Like, she felt like it really pulled her back down because I've been there. I can be hard on myself, but I was just like, don't do that. You're doing great. And yeah, so I always try if I can to like help or like step in if people are out of line. But I think it's overall, it's pretty rare.
I try to do that too. And so you get the free coaching also. It's always when we win too. They're like, you should have never gotten there. Do you know the probability? Do you know you're out?
But I'm like this. When they're out there, I said, what's going on? What do we need to talk about? Come on. What's up? I'll talk back to them. I'll be like, what do we have a problem with? Tell me what's going on.
Like, is this free coaching I'm getting? Or It hasn't gone over good sometimes because I just get even worse. Well, I'll just give it right back to him, but I try to ignore it now. How do you deal with that part where we work so hard as poker players? And I don't think a lot of in tournament players, we work hard. And I, like you, it's been since about Moneymaker, like 20 years. And then I didn't play live. I learned online, which we're going to talk about that too, and ACR. How do you deal with that part of you you seem very A-type to me, like you're going to get it done. And you do have great outcomes, like your results are amazing. I don't know if there was like a long period of years or something where you didn't have a huge tournament. There
Right
was. So
before
like,
last year. I
okay,
had an incredible last year, but the year before that,
let's
it
hear.
was it was so frustrating. I felt like I couldn't do anything right. You feel like you're going out of your mind. You lose every flip. You're 95% on the turn and you're losing, and
Yeah,
then I think that
that's me.
can lead to maybe playing bad. If you sometimes running bad, then you can get in your head. You're not taking spots you should be because you're like, well, I always lose this flip, so I'm not going to take it. Or, oh, ace king's been doing me wrong, so I'm not going to get it in pre when it's just a pure, all in pre. So, I mean, I think those things, they can affect you. They do, but you just really have to try to keep your head about you the best you can because that stuff will happen. Downswings will happen. And this is why I said also spend that joy in the winning because it's not always going to be there. And I've still am riding this incredible high of like a year that I've had. And part of me's like, oh gosh, I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
I hope it keeps going, but all I can keep doing is just like working on my game and playing the best I can play, playing smart. And I'm not backed. I'm completely on my own. And so, like, there is fear there of like, I think about that. I'm going to the series, what if I just 50K downswing at the series, that kind of stuff. You think about those things. You really hope it doesn't happen. But I mean, those things are realities, that can happen in poker, things that we can't control. I mean, again, I've seen Chris, who I believe is one of the best in the world, and I've seen him downswing like, hundreds of thousands, like where he just can't get anything going. And then it's just like, every day's a new day and stay patient and, don't give up on yourself and you just got to keep going. But it's hard. It is hard. And you feel the emotion of that and you feel the swings and long days. And this is the thing too, I've talked about poker. I'm someone that I like tangible results, right? So like if I worked at a business, I get that deal through, I sign this player, the contract goes through. But in poker, like a win is your only real tangible result. So sometimes you can just like feel like what's a min cash? Sure, it's great, but like that doesn't do anything in like the grand scheme of everything. So that can be hard sometimes to feel you're not getting like recognizing your own accomplishments. So that's something I struggle with because I like to be recognized, not even by others, but even within myself to celebrate myself of like, yes, I did this, so I think that part of it can be really hard.
Especially when you've built a business and like you can look back. I've had a 30-year career. I'm well known in my circles. Like I've helped so many people, but then in poker, seems a little more selfish and like can have other connotations, even though it's hard work. There's that luck factor. So you can think about, am I not meant to be doing this? Like, is that why? And I agree. We play worse. I will start playing less. Did you ever like do that because it just got to be too many losses and start focusing elsewhere?
Well, I dropped down. And a big change for me too is that at
Sorry,
one
did you
point,
say dropped out or dropped down?
dropped down in stakes.
Okay.
So online, I was, in the 600s, the 1Ks, everything. Okay, maybe we can't play those much. Now, after my bad streak, I was like, okay, now we'll drop down a little bit and play a little bit lower. Then I ended up having that Moneymaker score. Okay, I played, a little bit. Things went good. Then I dropped down. Then I had Venom, my final table Venom on ACR. Okay, then maybe I can go back up. So I've been very cognizant of if I feel I'm running bad or if maybe I'm not playing great at that time, I will drop down. Also in live tournaments, I wanted to be in there. I was playing 25Ks, 10Ks, 5Ks. I wanted to be in, I want to be in playing the best. Okay, I don't want to play the best anymore. I want to play people worse than me. Like, I'm now really happy, like, especially being on my own, not selling any action. I'm really proud to be doing that. And I'm happy playing mid stakes. Like, give me the 5Ks and below. I love those. Like, it's fun also, too. It's not as intense. I've gone to Triton through ACR, which has been incredible. I've sat with all the best players. I played multiple 25Ks. That's hard. Your brain's working so much harder. You're competing against the best in the world at this game. Great if you want to do that. I don't.
Yeah.
I want to play against worse players, or more recreational players, or whatever you may say.
Selection,
Yeah,
game selection,
exactly.
and I guess bank management. Like,
Yeah, take the ego out of it. And again, I had this conversation. I went to Vegas for the circuit series they had. Great series. I won my second ring, cashed the main, went deep in another event. I think I ended up having like 5 cashes or something during the circuit series. It was great. And I was talking with another guy who's a reg, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, I don't need to go try to have all this ego and play these big tournaments. He's like these mid stakes, it's easier. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing
yeah.
wrong with that. So
Do you mean what buy-in level do you mean? Because we have a lot of beginners.
for me right now, where I'm playing, but I was at a point where I was not playing below a 1K. I was like only playing 1Ks to 25Ks, like
Buy-in.
buy-in, tournament buy-in. Now my range is maybe if it's a circuit, or even if there's a random fun tournament I want to go play, 400 to 5,000. I mean, I play the 10K main, and if there's a good 10K win, I'll play that. My more regular tournaments is 400 to 5,000 range, and that's what I try to stay in. Like you said, there are beginner players. That's higher. I've been doing this a long time. I've had results. I have worked my way to those. But when I started out, yeah, I played, 300s. One of my wins, I won at the Win. I won a $400 tournament there.
It's not that easy. I mean, I've played
Yeah,
those
there's still
tournaments.
regs playing all those. So
Yeah.
don't be ashamed. Go play the $100 nightly that they have running at the casinos. Play the $200. Play the daily deep stacks
Dailies.
at the Rio. Those are incredible. I think it's a 250. You'll probably see Feraldo, a crazy Scottish man running around playing in those.
I
I'm
didn't even know they still had tournaments at the Rio.
Oh gosh, I said the Rio. I'm going so back. That's where they used to have them. Now it's Paris and Bali. So
The horseshoe. Yeah.
Horseshoe. God, I'm
Yeah.
calling it all the old names. I'm really
That's
aging
okay.
myself in poker here. Horseshoe or Paris, wherever they're hosting the series. Yeah, they have those running the daily deep stacks there. They're great. Great value. I know some of those 250s get 40K for a 1-day tournament. Go play.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great tournament. So,
Right. And that's more my level. Most of the time are dailies, and
yeah.
then I'll move up to a series and then min cash, and even at ninth at the bike, all the money's at the top.
It is. That's the hard thing in poker. All the money is at the top. Coming 12th is, I promise you, one of the most painful things. Like, you'll come 12th in
Oh,
a
I
tournament
did
for
it.
for $2,000, and first place is $170,000. I mean, that is just like that stuff hurts. When
Yeah.
that difference, even right there, you get so close. And I just did one in Biloxi, and I think I came 12th or 13th for 20,000, which is amazing. But first was $470,000. That's a very
Yeah.
big difference in money for just so close after playing through 1,800 players. And you come 13th, and that's how big the difference is. Yeah, all the
Yeah.
money's up top for sure.
And for people who don't understand, like maybe you haven't played tournaments yet or too many, I would start as low as possible, because the variance, you can literally study, you can do solvers, you can have coaches, you could know a lot of your pre-flop from this position and that position and with this stack size and all that, and still you lose because somebody else gets it in bad and
Sure.
gets there. We can prepare and we can manage our mindset and be lucky, and sometimes we're just in the zone. And I think for women, a lot of that is listening to our intuition as well.
Huge tool we have as women is our intuition.
Yes. And yeah, I want to hear more about that. The intuition. Do you ever play cash to just have some wins? Or
I don't like cash. It's not for me. I almost would say it's like boring. I just kind of think people are either tournament players or cash game players. I like the pain. Tournaments are very painful. I was going to say the one good way too for people to get started is online, because you aren't going to find the value for, again, on ACR. I'm telling you, we have $11 tournaments where it's like 20,000 for first, an $11 tournament. I mean, it's like you can play such small stakes. You can they have even free rolls. You can play for free and get yourself into this tournament to then get into another one. Like, so great small range. That's just a really great place to start. Also, it's a really cool way. I love now how the sites are evolving. You can see your stack in big blinds. So you can now be more understanding of how many big blinds you have, that you can see it right there. I personally love that, because that's
Me
I think
too.
in big blinds. So it's yeah, it's really nice. You have it all right in front of you. Right there on the screen, you know what everybody, exactly what the other players have. It is a great tool to learn and help hone your game. That's how I started. I started playing online poker.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the bar leagues, but I was also playing way back in the day, Paradise and Full Tilt and all these sites that were, around back then. That's how I started. And it really helped me because I could just always practice whenever I wanted and open up my computer, and there it is. And try to grind up, and you can start with $100 and do a lot with that, you know?
I love that. I told you I started on ACR and
Yeah.
I like wasn't playing because I was finishing school. I got pregnant a little earlier than was planned and had a baby like 2 months before I graduated with my last, and I was building a nutrition practice. A new marriage, it was a lot. We both owned our own business and we went for a date night one night and I just loved it. So I went home, I bought books, and I started playing around before Black Friday with the sites. And I found Carbon Poker, and I think it was called something before that. And it's
Yeah.
kind of since then, it was pretty good back then and it was so soft. And then ACR. And
Yeah.
ACR, I think, was called America's Card Room
Yes.
before the rebranding. Then Black Friday scared me. I had run my stuff up from free on ACR, which people still don't believe me, but I
Oh,
couldn't get my credit cards to work. Like it was illegal back then and I was not savvy with any of that. And she didn't sleep at night. So I played those sit and goes, and they're like pennies. You win
yeah.
like, and they were 6-person sit and goes. And I just learned and played. I ordered like Helmuth's book and Slansky and whatever I could afford and find, I would buy and then devour that and then go online. And I found the forum. I found 2+2. I found some of the forums and I would just listen. Like,
That's huge.
yeah, I
You
do.
know, the streams, we're so lucky. I watch the
Now.
Triton streams all the time. We have the best players at our fingertips to watch what they do. No, and I always say to people, do not try to imitate exactly. There's so many nuances and reasons as to what they're doing. Past information, player history, there's so many other factors involved, but you still can pick up and learn a lot of stuff. And I just think we have so much great, listen to the commentators. I was watching one the other day that Nick Schulman, he's incredible, that he was commentating on. Just listen, watch, absorb, take a little bit of this. Oh, okay, that's kind of an interesting point they were making there. Listen when it's great commentators and they're saying, yeah, what he's going to do is he's going to check this turn, da da da, and then that happens because they know, like, you know what I mean? They know what's going
Yeah.
on. Listen to people like that when
Mhm.
commentating and they're correct on what good players are going to do. Obviously, there's some, things that sometimes
Yeah.
we're like, whoa, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
There's so much information at our fingertips for free.
Like now YouTube, that's almost
Yeah.
too much.
All
And
the people we have even on ACR, we have a ton of people. They stream their whole cards up. I mean, you get to sit there and just like
yeah,
watch
where are those streams? Do you mean Twitch?
Twitch. Well, they
Okay.
have a lot of people streaming poker. I mean, again, this is a really cool thing. I don't know if everyone knows this. On ACR, if it's one of the Stormers or one of our Twitch
Mhm.
streamers, you can click their image and it will take you right to their Twitch page.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
When I'm playing with you,
In
I'll
the app
watch their
or
stream. No, on like when you're playing, on
Mhm.
the application. Yeah, on the application on your computer.
On my computer? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I
Like,
play.
not touch your screen, but, if you
Yeah.
click with the mouse, if you
Mhm.
click on that person's image, it will take you it auto loads up. This was an update they
Wow.
did. Incredible.
As
So
they're playing,
yeah, as
it's
they're
like
playing. So if
that's
someone's on my
awesome.
table, if I have, like, a Stormer, a streamer, everyone,
Mhm.
whatever, Boski, let's say I'm
Mhm.
gonna watch this thing. Okay, what cards did he have there when he raised me? You have free information, obviously, while you're playing against them, but then it's also cool. You get to watch and see what people are doing, and so I love that it's like, you don't have to go search in Google, try to find it. You just click on their name and it pops up their Twitch, so that's a pretty cool feature.
I love that ACR has quite a few women on the team.
Yeah, a lot on
That's
Pro and on Team Online and on Stormers. Like, they are super supportive of women, so encouraging. We do like breast cancer charity events online. We've worked with, the last one was American Cancer Society, did a big thing for them. Like, it's been really awesome to see, like, even mainstream charities working with us, an online poker site, and have raised, well over $100,000 from doing an ACR. Again, so kind. They've matched whatever, like, the prize pool,
wow.
match it to donate. We did with the breast cancer charity. Yeah, Phil is so supportive of women, all of ACR, everyone that works there, really encouraging. And yeah, it's a really good home and supportive environment for women for sure.
I do see people are sort of rushing now to support women in poker at, WSOP, WPT, which I love. Let's do it.
They let us do giveaways for the ladies event. That was fun too. They said, "All right, Katie, here's $1,000. Go pick, your favorite outfit." And they let me pick someone like one year just for like, and all these women showed up dressed like to impress for what they thought we would love. And it was, and again, it was funny, like, Ebony was able to do a giveaway, I picked someone, and we had a third girl that we just couldn't decide, and "Bill, can we do one more?" And he said, "Sure," and gave us a third 1K seat to give to this woman because she looks so amazing and just stuff like that. ACR truly is like, I talk about them so much because I love them. I'm so supportive of them. I feel really blessed and fortunate to be a part of this company that you can't find another site that gives back more. I'm just sorry. You cannot. The way that they are so generous, like always letting us do giveaways to our community. Like people will say, "Oh, thank you for this giveaway." And I'm like, I can't take credit. It's ACR. They are so generous. How much? Like, just even last Sunday, they were like, "You know what, guys, here, go give out 10 tickets to your community to each of these tournaments." And this is the big thing. Follow me on socials because I am always doing giveaways. There's a lot of free money, and I make an effort to try to pick new people every time. I don't just like, I really like read through and I'm like, okay, who have I not picked? And then also some people I make sure like that are always there. I'm like, okay, I want to give them back because they're always, around and whatever. So yeah, definitely follow the socials. There's a lot of opportunity there.
I have noticed that. And I think ladies definitely follow Katie and follow the other ladies who are sponsored
Yeah.
because when I started for many years, I didn't even play live until my daughter was grown and moving out to go to college. And it was right before COVID. So I played like 2017, 18, just starting. And when I played live, I still have a hard time counting big blinds in a stack, like live. I was overwhelmed
Yeah.
by all the things going on. I was just so dialed in on an online table.
Yeah.
For most ladies I hear, they don't know how to play online. They're worried about, they don't know if their credit card's gonna, and I'm talking about not the young women. They know what
Right.
they're doing because they grew up with apps. Women
Yeah.
like, I would say 40, 50, older, they are much more hesitant. Had I not started so young and I'm like you, I'm determined I will learn to play and I will play one day. And I will do like something like this kept coming to me. So how do you suggest ladies get started? Should they try to, I mean, doing it for free took me years to get
Well,
a
that's the
bankroll.
great thing. You can start. You can just sign up. You can sign up for free. Check it out. Go play the play money things. Play the free rolls. There's even like some of our pros. They have league games. Bet on Drew. He does a league, a poker league that people can join. Yeah, like Moneymaker and Rob Kuhn, they do a stream where they're constantly giving out staking tickets. This is another thing we have. We can send you to your account a staking ticket and where we say, okay, I'll split it 50-50. You play for free. And if you win, I get 50%. Like truly, we're coming up with all these really cool
I
ideas.
love that.
Yeah. So that's number one. Just start, sign up, check it out. No pressure. Number two, if you did want to deposit, if you are unsure, I said this to you. I am so available online. You send me a DM. I always check my messages. I will help anyone. I've literally had people like, how do I do this? And I've step by step walked you through what to do. If you ever have any issue, people know you can reach out to me. I have support at my fingertips. We have a chat group that they respond. I'm not kidding you, like 3 seconds. How can I help you? And they're there. If anyone has a problem, and I know people can attest to this, like if you reach out to me or any of the pros and say, I need help, we will help you immediately. Like there's no question. That's what we're there for, to be, sometimes these big companies, you feel you don't have a connection to them, but we are your connection. We're here. We're available. You contact any of us and we're right there like, okay, how can I help you? And I always say to someone, if this doesn't get resolved in 3 days, check back in with me. And actually, I think it's only been like once or twice someone's had to check back because it is almost always immediately resolved. So yeah,
Wow.
that's what I
See,
would
and
say.
that's important. And I think to have someone like you doing like a beginner class for people who have women who have never played online, or I guess it could be men too. It doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
online, but something for people who just want to start for free, I think would be a good idea. Just
If
to
there's
get
a demand for anything, I'll do it. If people are like, hey, can you do a Twitch and share your screen and show us how to sign up and where to go and show us the lobby? I'm happy to do anything. Like,
great
yeah,
idea.
yeah, if
Yeah.
there's demand or people want help, I'm free, in between playing. If it's not a series, I have free
Mhm.
time where I can sit down and I want more people in the game because I love this game. This game is my whole life. I mean, it truly is. It's all I've done for the last 20 plus years. Like, I'm very passionate about it. I believe in poker. I believe in this industry. I believe in the people. I believe in the companies. So yeah, I'm all in.
I love that. You're all in for women
Yeah.
too. Tell me about like that and any feelings you have about women in poker. I feel like I definitely don't understand why there's not a lot, but I feel like we have come very far from
Yeah.
the last 20 years when I barely saw a woman playing with Moneymaker back in those days. Some
Yeah.
of them are still with us. Some of them we've had here already, and some we're trying to get on. But you were around back then. What do you think is still holding us up? Because it should be even. We should have just as many as population. And then poker would be double, literally
Oh,
double.
I think the easy answer is women are a bit more risk averse, right? Like
Yes.
overall, I think we are, and poker there is risk to it, of course. I think we can be more practical. So in those kind of aspects, maybe it's not something that it is as attractive to women. I'm kind of different in the way that I am. I like, I like high variance. So I'm more risk. What's the opposite of averse?
Tolerant. Risk. Yeah.
Tolerant, risk, not even tolerant. Like I like
Yeah.
yeah, so and again, I knew that was different on me because the way that I've always, like, competed and played games and, done that kinda stuff. I was a competitive cheerleader. I, did, piano competitions, like, I've always just kind of been into that stuff, but, yeah, I think that's it overall. The cool thing is seeing that you don't have to play for a lot of money. You can play for free. You can just see if it's something you enjoy with your friends. You can just get together where people are, like, getting into mahjong and that stuff. You could do the same with poker. Have a little poker league, have your friends come over. You can just play for fun and the joy of, like, playing cards with your friends. You can start anywhere and have fun with it, and I just don't think there has to be that pressure. If you see that you love it more, then, okay, now how do I take next steps? And I truly believe as well, not just me, I think pretty much almost any woman in poker, if you reach out to her DMs, they're gonna reply. Like, we have some good women in this industry that are so kind and so welcoming to other women. I love ladies events. Anytime it's a possibility for me to play, I don't care the buy-in amount. I'm in there, I'm playing. I always have such a fun time. I don't understand people that care that there's ladies events. It's like, why do you
Yeah.
care? It doesn't affect you. People are more comfortable, or if they want to do that, let them do that. It smells nicer, like,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
so,
like,
yeah.
yeah, let them have that. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I've kind of said this quote before when people are like, we need more women. It's like, not that we need it, but I think they should be welcomed if they want to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think it should be an unbelievably welcoming environment. I don't think we need to push anyone to do anything they don't want to, but if they want to, if they're even slightly curious, then I would say, check it out.
Mhm.
Come do it. And I hear it a lot, like through, in New Orleans, I'm newer living here, and a lot of the women here, they don't know anything about poker. And they're like, please, can we do a girls' night and you teach us? And, we did a mahjong night where I learned that. And I was like, I could host a poker night and teach. So yeah, I mean, I think it's
That's awesome.
definitely yeah, people are curious, they are interested, but don't be scared to ask, like, put yourself out there,
Mhm.
like, reach
Mhm.
out to someone, "How do I get involved?" or "What would you recommend?" or yeah.
Funny, I just did that too. I just moved to Vegas and I did just with the ladies where I live and some of
Mhm.
my first friends, none of them, they all live here most of their lives. They don't know how to play poker. They're like, oh, I've always wanted to learn, or I played once with my boyfriend and his friends, or I sat behind him at a the usual.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going to teach you guys how to play.
love that.
But that was just so fun. Like just sit down at a table and teach beginners. I love doing that. And
Yeah.
for you that you're still doing that also. So you're located in New Orleans and
Yeah,
Vegas.
and Vegas, I'm more here right now, but, I originally purchased a property in Vegas to do as an Airbnb. I wallpapered it, and then I bought a bunch of furniture, and then I was like, "It's too cute." So
So
right
fun.
now I'm not renting it, I'm just using it when I'm there. I've talked, I've talked to some of my poker friends that they're like, "Wait, maybe I can, like, use it when, and rent it out, whatever."
Mhm.
So, most likely I'll need to do that in the future, but I got creeped out by, like, "Oh, man, what if a bachelor party comes through and ruins my cute place?" And it's a sanctuary for me, and also why I was hesitant is I got the house, I went to the series and had an incredible series, and I was kinda like, "Oh, my energy here is so good, I don't wanna mess with that."
Yeah.
So
No, I feel that for sure. And I'm the same way. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do that sometimes. And it's like, no, you don't want people in your space. What if they're a serial killer? What if they're
yeah,
dirty?
yeah,
What if they like are sick? Like
I
there's
know.
this, yeah, that's a harder thing I think for women to do, even if we're business minded, if
Yeah.
we're gonna be, that's gonna
Well,
be our
because
sanctuary.
Yeah, my sanity, my safe space, my mental, that
Mhm.
has to come number 1 because if
Yeah.
I'm not good, then I can't play good poker, so that's, like, where my priority
Mhm.
is my comfortability and my sanity, so I kinda start there, and the great thing is like, hey, if I get to a point and poker goes bad, sure, I can run it out, I can go from there, I have that opportunity, but, yeah, so for now, it's my
That's
little
a great investment, I think, because
yeah.
just the hotels, and I just think having a sanctuary to retreat to when you're playing. How is New Orleans for poker? Is that why you're
Uh,
there?
no, I
Oh,
just moved here after Chris and I split. We were like, it might be hard to kind of start over, like same friends, same job, same small city. And
yeah.
he obviously had moved over from England and he liked it there. And I said, well, I can look, I could go somewhere else. Maybe let me think. And I really loved New Orleans. I had a lot of friends here already. I was visiting a lot.
Mhm.
And I said, well, let me just like go get an apartment, see if I like it, get a like, furnished place for a couple months and, like, I bought my house 2 months in. I was like, "Yep, I'm here. I love it." So, at first, poker wasn't here, but I've been so lucky. The circuit is back. Um, they did a trial run back in August. It went so well. I believe
Got it.
it's here now coming next month, and I believe we're gonna get year. Run Good came, Moneymaker Tour had talked to them about coming, so poker is back. They remodeled it. It's Caesars. They have a Nobu. I love a bougie dinner break, so that's been nice.
Wow.
It's
In New Orleans, yeah?
yeah. Like
Okay.
12 minutes, 13 minutes from my house. So very convenient, really awesome to have some poker here now as well. So yeah, I mean, that's like I went to Vegas for the circuit there and
Mhm.
then I'm back here and now I have the circuit coming next month. So I get to like be in my own home to play it. And then after that, go straight to the series and play that all summer and then come back. And then hopefully we will have the second, WSP here in August. So
I love.
yeah.
Are you doing any, commentating or strategic? Like, do you want to? I feel like you would be great for that.
Thank you. Well, here's what's funny. I
Mhm.
said no to everything for so long. I'm severely camera shy. Like, and nobody believes this about me.
What?
Yeah, like, this would have not happened 5 years ago. I mean, there was one, like, second you asked me a question per second, I was like, because I didn't know what I wanted to say immediately, and I almost froze, and now I've learned, "Hey, get out of your head, just
Mm.
answer the question, you know how to answer a question." But before, just with the camera on me, I would just freeze up. Yeah, I hated it, and that was even when ACR approached about doing a sponsorship deal, I said no, because I was like, no, I was like, I can't put myself out there like that. Like
Mhm.
I just want to play poker. Yes, I dress crazy, but that's because I love fashion. It's truly only that I love fashion so much. It's fun to me.
Mhm.
But I didn't want any of the attention. And then I said, you know what? What an incredible opportunity. I would be so stupid to not take this and just see what comes of it. And I did. I was like, I don't know what this is going to look like. Let's trial it a little bit. And they were like immediately, they're like, "Okay, we need you to come film this and be the host of this." And I was like, "Holy cow." But then I was nailing it. And they were calling me like one take Kate. Like it was kind of funny that I was like,
Ah,
wait, I can do this. And I actually posted a reel that if anyone wants to go watch, it was, a couple reels back or whatever. And I posted about how much fear I used to have and how I've overcome that. And like how rewarding that's been for me to see my own growth and what I'm capable of, because I think sometimes we maybe don't realize that we're capable of things that we thought we never could or that like yeah, I mean, my first ever when I did an interview, Chris was being interviewed for something and they said, "Can we interview you?" And he knew I didn't want to, but it was such a big opportunity. It was like pokerography, a thing they were doing, a really big deal show back in the day. And I mean, it was like Helmy, Negreanu, and Chris is
yeah,
being
I
just
remember.
alongside the greats. And I was like, they're like, "We need you. You're his wife." I was like, "Okay, I have to do this." And I sat down and they put the camera and they asked me the first question, "Tell me about Chris." And all of a sudden I got so nervous and I started sweating and my mind went blank. And then I got more nervous because they just told me to talk about my husband and I had nothing to say. And I
Mhm.
just froze. And all of a sudden, single tear just starts trickling down my face because I
Mhm.
was so scared and I had to pull it together. And so that's how I used to be in trying to do interviews. And now, even like seeing myself now, I'm like, this is freaking really awesome. Like that we can really overcome fears and just do it. Like that's it. Just say yes. Just put yourself out there. That's the same for women scared to go sit at the table. Just do it. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to mess up a hand. I mess up hands all the time. We all do. Like, I mean, even like we're seeing Chrissy, everyone's giving her criticism, but like this is incredible. You can see the best players can mess up on the biggest stage. It's okay. We all do it. Don't be scared to look stupid. It's like that's how you get better. That's how you grow. Or everyone thinks you're stupid, but in theory, you did the right thing. So, I mean, it's like Yeah, I think that's like a big thing that I've come full circle myself is that I never would expect to be here, and I wouldn't have if I hadn't pushed myself outside of my own comfort zone.
It's hard to believe
Yeah,
because you
I know.
look so comfortable and you seem like just an actress or, like comfortable in front of the camera. But I know I was terrified to just to start
Yeah.
this podcast. I had done it in nutrition, but in those things in lab testing, I'm an expert. It's easy to talk about it. And
Mhm.
I didn't start doing that till like 2017. And by that point, I was so confident in what I do and I'm passionate about it. And I thought, who am I to start like a poker podcast? Or I
You're you.
literally,
That's
right,
enough.
right. I was terrified. I thought about it for 2 or 3 years and I kept dreaming about it. And I would be in meditation. You need to do this. You need to do this. Okay. I asked my friend Sandy that I knew from poker tournaments, do you want to do it? She's like, do you know how? No. Here's what I have. Like I'm a researcher and a planner. I'm so happy I did because there's just so many amazing people that I've met and been able to highlight for other women. And women will come up now and tell me, and men, oh, I saw when Maria Ho said this. And, I saw the big girl at poker, Donna Blevins. What a great story. Like you said, we have to ask. And I've always been so sensitive to like, no, I don't think I would be a great salesperson. But the older I get, the more I'm like, what do we have to lose?
Well, exactly. What do we have to lose? Like, okay, I look stupid or I say the wrong thing or I play the hand wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is something actually I think is a good tip that this is something my ex said to me as well. I remember once I was in a tournament, I played a hand terribly. I was so mad at myself. I beat myself up. I came home and I was like, oh, they're all going to be talking about how bad I am. And oh, great. I just felt like I was like building my reputation. I just threw it away playing this one hand bad. And he goes, Katie, they don't care about you. They're worried about themselves. They are not thinking about you. Okay, that sounds mean, but I actually was like, that is the nicest thing you could have said to me because it got me out of my own head to realize we are so the main character in our own story that we forget. We are not in everyone else's. Like, if you play hand bad, I promise you, I'm not calling people to tell them. I'm not thinking about it. I might be like, oh, okay, well, I wouldn't have done that, whatever. And then it's gone and I don't think about it again. So that's something that we have to remember. Like, if we mess up, who cares? Nobody else is as worried as we are. So, like, stop putting that crazy pressure on yourself to be perfect because no one else is expecting you to be because they're not, you know?
That was something that took me a long time. And I still
Yeah.
forget. I'll play a hand wrong and want to just beat myself up. And I think that keeps a lot of women from the poker table and they freeze. I could see them in their heads like,
Yeah.
oh, I went out of turn. And then somebody will berate them or berate. And it's like, calm down. She's
Yeah.
new.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fine.
Fine.
Yeah, nobody is worried about
And
that.
listen,
This guy's
again,
drops.
women, I want the women to know, if you know that someone is a pro at the table, ask them after, pull them aside on break and be like, "Hey, what did you think about that?" Listen, I don't lie. I'll say I wouldn't have done that or I might have done this instead, but it's okay because now making mistakes is how we learn. That is truly how I've learned so much is by my mistakes because that's something, Chris would go back and watch my old hand histories. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Maybe he'd give me 20 things. He recently actually watched one for me because we're still great friends. And I'll be like, hey, I final tabled this. I want you, like ACR, they do the final table replay where you can go back and watch cards up. Where before
Wow.
he might have told me 20 hands, and last time when he looked, he 2, and they weren't a big deal. He was like, "I might have done this instead of this." I was like, "All right." But that's how
Yeah.
you get better is, like, ask people for advice. Ask people, like, I promise you, any other female pros, if you watch a woman and you think she plays well and you respect her game, ask her opinion. Like, also write down your hands, your things that you can DM me. Write a hand history and DM me. I will answer. I'll give you. I really think, like, we're here to help each other. Don't be scared to ask for help. That's a big thing. I ask for help. That's, how I've gotten where I am so far. Ask people for help. Ask people for their opinion. If you think they're better than you, ask their opinion.
How about family support? Have
They
they always
loved
been
it.
supportive?
Oh, yeah, my family loves poker. I would think most daughters call their parents, "Hi, I went and got a college degree. I'm gonna play poker now. I'm gonna
Mhm.
work for a poker magazine." My mom and dad are like, "Amazing." Yeah, so supportive. Even when I
Wow.
call them, "I'm gonna marry another poker player. We love Chris. We're a band." They I'm so lucky. Our Christmases, we sit and play, we play cards. It's funny. My niece, she's about to be 18 this last Christmas. She dealt for us. My nephew, he's in college at UF. They're now getting back into poker there because they see it on YouTube and they're watching, these new guys coming up and they're all getting into it, these college kids. So
Mhm.
yeah, we sit there and we play and I beat them and I teach them a lesson of, see, you got to get better. I'm not going to take it easy on you. The real world's tough out there.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. And do you feel like we're having a resurgence again? Another
I
one?
do with these young kids in college.
Yeah.
A couple different things I keep seeing that it's been like, okay, even in New Orleans, I was like at a bar for a show and I met this couple and they were like, what do you do? I play poker. They're like, oh my God, my son loves poker. He's at LSU. And he was like, wait, we all play at the frat house. Same, that's my nephew at UF. There is a resurgence in these young, 20 something kids that are just like, getting out of college, in college now, and they're loving it. They're all playing, with their
Mhm.
friends and it's coming back. And I think and okay, this is funny too. So we were in Bahamas just for they had the World Series down there in December, and ACR partnered with them, so we all went down there. And my brother came with my nephew to visit me while I was there, and Helmuth came in. We were sitting, and I've known Helmuth forever, so he came up to give me a hug, and I was like, "Oh, you got to meet my nephew," because he's like a big fan. Like and so he asked him. He said, He told me this is what I always ask these young kids now. He's like, "How do you know about me?" YouTube, because they're now replaying all these old videos on YouTube. And so that's how they're refining poker. They see, Helmi's old videos on there, or now these new guys, like, the vloggers, the guys.
Bloggers, and the kids are seeing them,
Oh,
which
it's
is
back for sure, which is so exciting.
amazing.
I love this game. I want it to stay. I want it to be huge. I want it to grow. I want people to like find it and have the same love that I have for it. So yeah, it's awesome.
Me too. And I want women to realize that you have a place
Yeah.
and you can be responsible and play poker. It's
Mhm.
not always a D-gen and
No.
the old boys club. It's just not what you think. And yeah, if you have an addictive personality and you've had a problem with that before, then I would say it's not
Yeah.
for you. Or when I taught my friends here, we just played with chips. We did not play
Yeah.
for money.
You get to be like, I have it. Do you have it? Or are you lying to me? It's not about the money. It's out trying to outthink each other. Or what do you think? I think you think. And yeah, the intuition and all of that. There's so many other factors. Like the money can be the least important thing. It can just be the strategy, the fun, the skill of the game.
Have you seen, are you aware of Poker Power? Jenny Just and
Mm-hmm.
how did you see her TED Talk with her daughter?
Yeah.
Well, they're doing a lot in the colleges, like Harvard. And now there's ladies at Harvard doing a study on the barriers to women for entry. And there's just so many cool things they hooked up with, the Women's Poker Association, right? The WPA. Are you a
Yeah.
member of that?
I don't think so. Nobody asked me.
Join. It's free. Yeah, we need you
Yeah,
there.
I'm so bad with a lot of the stuff, like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to get better and be like, I think Sherry, she's a part of it. I just did a spaces with her, a couple weeks ago, but I believe that
Sherry on X,
I'm like, I don't wanna mispronounce it.
yeah, she is part of the
Yeah, she's
WPA. Pretty much everyone, it's free. Just join and they would love to have you. I'm on the board for the past year. I didn't know for years when I was playing live, it took like 4 or 5 years. I played by myself in LA. I played and I didn't know other women until I started to meet them here and there. Once I saw they had brought they bring swag bags for the final table for ladies events. They bring a trophy for the ladies because a lot of our events did not have trophies. They
Yeah.
still don't. I think they're starting to now. Like there was a trophy for the real events and then the women got a medallion or something.
Yeah.
Go on Facebook if you want to know what the women are doing. There's a lot of women that belong and you don't have to do anything or you can like
Right.
become involved. And it's a
That's great.
really good way to connect and start to know these ladies and just the networking. That's why I was going there. Jenny just started it because she believed that her son, and the TED Talk is pretty short. I'll link it somewhere.
Yeah.
Her daughter was not as competitive as her son.
Mhm.
And she had just learned poker recently, and she's a trader, Wall Street, fintech giant. And she decided that her daughter needed to learn poker because we're just not invited. We're not in the boardroom. We're not at the poker table. We're not at the golf games where so
Yeah.
many of the big deals at the highest levels are made. And I really resonated with that. Women's tournaments have a different energy. Any series where there's more women, to me, has a friendlier, like you could see it at the WSOP. They had the men in the front, two different like bigger events. They had the seniors event, which a woman got second this time. Oh no, she got first. They were down to 3 when the ladies tournament started, and she got first, and she ran back and celebrated with all of us. And as you go back, the energy is just, it's so serious and quiet in the front. Like everybody is, that tension you could cut, like, and then as we go back, it's just more fun. We were all very competitive. We were cutting each other's throats on the table, but
Yes,
update.
anyone, please come up, say hi. I love talking to everyone. We can talk poker, we can talk fashion, we can talk cocktails, whatever.
See how nice she is. I love the poker world. I love women in poker. I love being a part of it. And if there's anything else you want to leave us with, anything you're promoting, what do you have coming up?
Yeah, I mean, you can always find me and connect with me on my socials. I was saying on X, I do a lot of giveaways. That's like where I mostly post a lot of my giveaways, although I do share them to Instagram as well. And on Instagram, it's a lot of my personal life. It's what I'm doing day to day, my travels, my fashion. I've been having a fun time making like silly little fashion reels lately. So I have a couple more in the works. Yeah, so that's like definitely, like I said, I respond to everyone there. And my biggest thing I want to leave with is do not be scared. I am proof of it myself, to just put yourself out there. Don't be scared to do it, whether it's sitting at the table or doing an interview or saying yes to something you think you can't do. I just say do it and you'll figure it out. It'll work itself out.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. I will have all her links and her socials and everything in the description. If you have questions for her and you don't run into her, I'm sure you can ask her on her social media. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on the Queens of Poker. Thanks for listening. We're at all the socials at the Queens of Poker, so join us and don't forget to tell your friends we're all in for women in poker.